guys, Captain Foley here, and again, I'm joined by Robert Burnett, and we had a little discussion about Free Enterprise, but what about a Free Enterprise 2?
Well, that's kind of a sad story. You know, a lot of people wanted us to write Free Enterprise 2, and we didn't really know what to do. Because Shatner became the character, the William Shatner that's in Free Enterprise sort of became what William Shatner became. Like with being Denny Crane, and he became that guy in real life. So how would you make a Free Enterprise 2? And I said to Bill, I was working on the Star Trek V DVD. I said to him once, we were talking about Free Enterprise, and he said, well, I said to him, I go, Bill, if we made a Free Enterprise 2, what would it be about? Like, where would you see the character of William Shatner? Where would he be? Like, what would he want to do? Kid you not, Shatner thought about it, and he thinks about it, and he goes, well, Rob, I think he should be a rabbi. And I went, a rabbi? Yeah, rabbi. That's all he said. Yeah, figure something out. Great. And so it took a while. It took a number of years, and we figured out, like, how can we make that story work? And we did. And Mark and I went and wrote a script that we both loved, and we worked on it with Shatner a little bit. He loved it. We got it. We thought we got it financed. And in 2010, we were 2 days away from full photography. And we lost our financing. It was the most heartbreaking professional experience of my life until we got sued by Paramount and CBS for X&R. So we didn't get to make the movie. And I had to call Shatner up and tell him we weren't going to do it. Oh. And it was like calling my dad and telling my dad I got all Fs in my report card. It was bad.
And what was Shatner's reaction?
He was not happy at all. Because he was going to get paid, and he really thought... He was so excited about the movie that we had one last script session with him, mm-hmm. where he invited us down to the LA Equestrian Center and made us watch him ride 7 horses to qualify for this Sunday... He rides dressage, which is very technical mm-hmm. Competition horse riding. And he was qualifying for that, which, by the way, he won. He beat like some 20-year-old girl in the competition. The following Sunday, this was on a Friday afternoon, and we went down and we read the script with him. It was the last note session, but we had to watch him ride 7 different horses to qualify, which lasted like 3.5 hours.
It sounds like a movie itself. There's 7 horses of Shatner.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, he was amazing, and we never got to make it. I'd still like to make it. The script's still good. I mean, Shatner's 85 now. I'd love to, it might be the last movie he ever makes, but I'd love to do it. Because, you hear about the greats, like Sean Connery retired, Gene Hackman retired. Mm-hmm. One day Shatner's going to retire, and I'd love to make that movie with him.
Do you really think Shatner's going to retire?
Probably not.
He's always going to have his hands in something.
I think so. But that's why we need to make the movie. I think it'd be great. I'd love to do it.
I agree.
But yeah, and the plot was wacky. We had to figure out how to make the rabbinical plot work.
Now, do you think it would work as well as Free Enterprise? Because Free Enterprise was based on your life and life experiences. This one's more kind of outside the box.
This is more of a movie. I call it a movie. It was much more of a wacky comedy. But it still had, what it really did have, what at the core of Free Enterprise 2 was how do geeks grow old? Like, how do we as Star Trek fans, as the world went out and became, the geeks won. We won. We're everywhere now. What happens how do we introduce our children to Star Wars? If I had a son, could I get my young son who might be 6 years old to watch a Godzilla movie after he's already seen Jurassic Park? There are geek concerns that didn't mm-hmm. exist before, and I think a lot of what Free Enterprise 2 had in it was called Free Enterprise: The Wrath of Shatner, is what it was called. And the idea was, what is that like? How do you age with these interests that are traditionally, they come from your childhood? Certainly my love of Star Trek came from my childhood. So how do I carry that into adulthood? Mm. Apparently with a lawsuit. But, what are you going to do? Which is in itself wacky. Because it just it's more grist for the mill. Like, I really want to make, do you know who Christopher Guest is? He made like Best in Show, or he makes these funny comedies.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar, but
well, I want to do a Christopher Guest, a comedy movie about Vic, James, and Alec. and a fictionalized version of these three guys that all make Star Trek fan films, and everything that then they have this heated competition, and I want to call it Galaxy Unrest. You heard it here first.
I like that.
But I think, it's interesting, and that was the central, and we're all, I think, you guys have Trekyards, we're all grappling as we move into adulthood. We retain, we hold on to our Star Trek interest, and the real question is why? Why did Star Trek never go away? In my life, when I was a little kid, I started watching Star Trek, then there was the animated series, then there was the motion picture, which led to Star Trek 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and lo and behold, Star Trek 6, and then the Next Generation, and then Deep Space Nine, and then Voyager, and then Enterprise, then J.J. Abrams, and now Joe Menosky's writing more Star Trek episodes on a new Brian Fuller produced Star Trek show for the 50th anniversary. It goes into the next half century. There's always been Star Trek,
and there should always be free enterprise. If you can get it made, what are the chances? What do you think?
Well, you know what? I haven't been actively trying to make it lately. I haven't gone out to try and do that. I probably should. Again, I probably should.
I agree. Anyway, guys, that's it. Free Enterprise 2 would be awesome. If you haven't seen Free Enterprise, where have you been? Go see it. Go see it. You will enjoy it. Absolutely. And if you don't know anything about it, check out our other interview with Robert Burnett where we talk about it. All right, guys, Captain Foley signing off. Thank you, Rob, for joining us. We'll see you later.
Live long and prosper.